Stanley Roper shot straight up in bed, his floral-patterned pajamas clinging to his damp skin. He glared through the darkness at his wife. Helen was perched on the edge of her vanity stool, illuminated by a harsh, singular reading lamp, violently dragging an emery board across her fingernails. "Be quiet, Helen," Stanley grumbled, his voice thick with sleep and irritation. "You're gonna wake Karen." Helen didn't even look up. The curlers in her hair bounced slightly as she continued her aggressive grooming. "Filing my nails is gonna wake up your knees?" "It's not the filing," Stanley retorted, throwing the covers off his legs. "It's the breaking. Every time you break a nail, you swear loud enough to wake the dead. And believe me, at this hour, I qualify." Helen sighed, finally setting the nail file down. "Oh, so that's what got you up. I thought maybe it was a sudden surge of romantic passion. My mistake." Stanley ignored the jab, a survival tactic he had perfected over decades of marriage. "Just hold it down, will you? I mean, the poor girl flew in from New York today and she's dead tired. You've heard of jet lag, haven't you?" Helen turned to face him, crossing her arms over her sensible nightgown. "Heard of it. Stanley, I married it. She's trying to adjust to a new time zone," Stanley insisted, pointing a finger toward the guest room down the hall. "She's trying to adjust to living the life of a nun," Helen shot back. "What kind of vacation is this for a beautiful young girl? You never let her out of your sight. You're hovering over her like a prison guard. You're more like her jailer than her uncle." "That's ridiculous," Stanley scoffed, puffing out his chest. "She's having a good time. A wonderful time. She's having a boring time." "Boring? How can you say that?" Stanley's voice cracked with indignation. He began listing his achievements on his fingers. "Didn't I take her to Disneyland? Didn't I take her to the Los Angeles County Museum of Art? Didn't I walk out to the very end of the Santa Monica Pier with her? Didn't I sit her down every night after dinner and tell her all about my harrowing experiences in the war? You call that boring?" "Huh? Helen! Helen!" Stanley blinked. Helen's eyes had drifted shut, her chin resting heavily on her hand. At the sound of her name, she jerked awake. "Oh, sorry, Stanley," she mumbled, waving a hand dismissively. "I must have drifted off. You were saying something about the war." Stanley let out a huff of exasperation. "Look, I promised my brother that I'd take good care of her while she visited California, and that's exactly what I'm doing. It's a jungle out there." "Oh, well, she ought to be out having some fun with people her own age," Helen argued, standing up and stretching. "She ought to be out dating. She's young, she's single, she's gorgeous. Dating. In this city?" Stanley looked at his wife as if she had suggested Karen take up juggling active chainsaws. Are you out of your mind? Los Angeles is crawling with freaks, weirdos, and perverts. I read the papers. Helen, I see the kind of men roaming the streets. Oh, I wasn't talking about your friends, Stanley, Helen said smoothly, a smirk playing on her lips. Stanley scowled. I just hope you don't make a crack like that in front of Karen. You'll give her the wrong idea of her uncle. Oh, don't worry about that, Helen said, padding over to her side of the bed and pulling back the floral sheets. I think she has the exact right idea of you. I hope so, Stanley said proudly, entirely missing the sarcasm. He settled back into his pillows, staring at the ceiling. A thought suddenly struck him, a rare occurrence at this hour of the night. Wait a minute. What about the kids upstairs? Ellen paused, one knee on the mattress. What about them? Why don't you let her meet the kids upstairs? Helen looked at him in disbelief. You mean the Andrews sisters? Yeah. Patty, Maxine, and Tinkerbell. Stanley grinned, pleased with his own joke. Oh, of course. You're right, Stanley, Helen said, rolling her eyes. I forgot. She'd never be interested in a fellow like Jack. He's a wonderful boy and a fantastic cook. But you're convinced well, and he would never be interested in any girl, Stanley added with a definitive nod. I don't understand people like Jack, but hey, it takes all kinds to make a world. Wait a minute. Stanley sat up again, his eyes widening as a brilliant scheme formulated in his mind. For once in your life, Helen, you just gave me a smart idea. I did. We should put this date down on the calendar. Tomorrow, when Karen gets up and gets dressed, I'm gonna go upstairs and talk to Jack about taking her out. Helen stared at him. You want Jack to take your niece out on a date? It's brilliant, Stanley declared, slapping his knee. I mean, dating him is as safe as sending her out in an armored truck. He won't try anything. He'll keep the other weirdos away. And she gets a night on the town. It's perfect. Helen shook her head, pulling the covers up to her chin. Stanley, sometimes I really wonder what goes on inside that head of yours. Genius, Helen, Stanley whispered, a triumphant smile on his face. Pure genius. Chapter 2. The Half-Price Birthday. The morning sun filtered through the macrame plant hangers swinging gently in the front window of apartment 201. Inside, the atmosphere was a chaotic blend of domestic panic and genuine affection. Chrissy Snow burst through the front door, nearly tripping over the threshold. Her blonde hair bounced around her shoulders, framing a face flushed with excitement and exertion. In her hands, she carefully balanced a square white cardboard bakery box. Hey, I got it, she announced in a stage whisper, kicking the door shut behind her. "I got the birthday cake. Jack Tripper,